What is up, rivals? Welcome back to yet another episode of Rival Kingdoms. I don't know why the game always freezes when the dragon is like about to fly up there from the roost. I have no clue. But anyway, today I'm going to do a video on all the dragons because I have them all unlocked. I've had them all unlocked for a while. I'm not trying to brag. I'm not trying to boast. But I've had them unlocked for a while. I just haven't got around to making this video. But I'm going to show you guys all of the dragons. Where is this guy? Where are you, Foreveil? Come back. Show you all the dragons, their skills, what I think is the best one for certain situations. And with that said, let's get into the video. Don't forget to leave a like rating and subscribe if you are new for some more future Rival Kingdom. Alright, so starting off, we have the Ancient that everybody knows, loves. You start out with this one. This is Foreveil. You get it by completing the first quest, the Frozen North at the map. And so yeah, it's free. Pretty much everyone has it. And he's just awesome. So let's take a look at his skills real quick. His 5 mana skills: Frost Shield reduces all damage taken by 50% and grants total immunity to spell towers with flash freeze for 10.5 seconds. Ice Elemental summons 2 Ice Elementals. And Midwinter, which is absolutely ridiculous. It freezes all structures in a large area for 5.4 seconds. That is bonkers. Now, Foreveil is the dragon that I've used most as an ancient. Keep in mind where it says 197 wins, that is counting as an ancient, not as a dragon. And he's still good, still really good as a dragon. His dragon ability is dragon power, excuse me. He sweeps over the base and freezes everything that he sweeps over for 2 seconds in an okay range around him, so not too crazy. So I'm gonna go over kind of my thoughts about him real quick. And Foreveil is super good as an ancient. First of all, let me say that even towards the later strongholds, there's still people using them. Even though his level does cap out at 30, he's just an absolute beast. His Midwinter spell to freeze stuff for 5.4 seconds, and it's a huge area. It basically covers pretty much the whole base, depending on the base, of course, but most of the time it covers the whole base, and it gives you enough time to take out a lot of the important defensive structures, and usually by the time it's up, you can rack up enough mana to use it again. So that's why it's super good, super long, super crazy range, and it's just absolutely ridiculous. So I recommend, if it's your first dragon, level him up. He's an absolute beast. Now, as a dragon himself, using them in battle, using them in the roost, he's also really good. His stats are a little bit lower compared to the other dragons. Let's take a look at his stats. Stats are quite low. Even his level 30 maximum stats, you see, not so good, especially when you compare it to the other dragons who have a lot higher damage per second, a lot higher health and stuff like that, and they can even get to higher levels as an ancient and give them in turn even higher stats past this. So as far as stats, not that great, but as far as his dragon ability, which allows you to freeze stuff for 2 seconds, really good, because not only can you freeze important stuff, you can also chain it with your Midwinter and keep stuff locked down for a super long amount of time. Now, the problem with this is, like I said, his stats are kind of low, so if you are going to use his dragon power, you do have to fly over and in range of some structures sometimes, which means you are sometimes going to get hit by stuff, and sometimes because of your low health, you're going to get taken out pretty quickly. So you have to be kind of very careful and precise when you use his dragon power, or you could screw up really easy. But if you get good with him, it can do a lot of good stuff with if you time it properly and stuff like that. Next up, we have our first dragon ancient we're taking a look at. This is Talasin. This is the dragon that I use the most as a dragon. Let's take a look at his ancient spells. So first of all, he has Lightning Shield, reduces all damage taken by 50%, grants total immunity to spell towers equipped with Arc Lightning, that is the Lightning Tower, for 11.2 seconds. Second spell, Magnetic Pulse, deals a certain amount of damage and disables building in an area for 4.5 seconds. So you see, this is also quite a good skill. However, the area of effect to disable buildings pretty much the same as the freeze, but the area of effect is a lot smaller than Foreveil's Midwinter, so it's definitely not as effective, but it costs 5 less mana. And his final spell, Volatile Current, blasts a target for a certain amount of damage and nearby structures for a little bit less damage. If destroyed within 10 seconds, the building awards 1 mana and the spell is recast on a nearby target for no cost. So when I heard this skill, I was like, oh my goodness, it's an absolute beast. You just use it once, it just keeps casting on nearby buildings. But on paper it sounds great, but in game it's not as effective as you think, because usually by the time you get the mana, you use it on the building, it has like maybe 1 health left, and it does have quite a big cast time. Okay, maybe not 1 health, but you get the point. It does have quite a long cast time, so by the time you use it, the lightning strike comes down. Sometimes it takes a little too long and the building is already destroyed, so you don't get the bonus of it spreading to nearby targets. Also, if you use this on a target and your troops end up destroying the buildings around it, there's no nearby target, so it's not going to spread to anywhere, so it's kind of a waste. So it can be good in certain situations. I just think it's not the best of 15 mana spells. It's not the best use for that. So his dragon power, Talasin sweeps over the base to the target location, dealing high damage. Now, Talasin's stats, I can't actually show you because he is the max level for my current Ancient Shrine, but first of all, he can reach level 40 as he is an Epic Ancient, and on top of that, he does have some of the highest raw DPS, so he doesn't have any crowd control, doesn't have any, you know, special abilities that coincide with his dragon ability, but as far as raw DPS, when he's spitting out the dragon breath or whatever the heck his attacks are, it deals a lot of damage, and I use him the most so I can snipe off kingdom portals and true portals a little bit faster, a little bit easier without wasting so much time. That's not always a good thing because then it does, you know, I have less time in between my dragon powers. They don't get as much time to charge up, but it can be a good thing if you time it properly and you get better with that. So this is a dragon I use most as a dragon, not so much as an ancient. The next dragon is one that, the name I always butcher this, so excuse me if I say it's wrong, but Visacara is yet another dragon, another epic dragon. He is super, super cool because his dragon power actually coincides with his abilities. So I'll explain that in a second. First of all, let's take a look at his regular abilities. So he has Toxic Nova, soaks the target area with a poison, deals damage for 11 seconds. His Poison Touch, which affects units, will cause additional damage per second over 12.4 seconds on each target they attack. So this is on your troops. You use this on your troops in an area and they will each do more damage, and that is so sweet because that is actually quite a big damage increase considering you could hit pretty much all your troops if you time it correctly and you aim it correctly. And his final skill, Expunge, it purges poison from enemies, causing a huge chunk of damage and removes the poison. So remember that Toxic Nova, our first spell, for only 5 mana, it puts poison in an area, and then this Expunge, it actually removes the poison, does a huge chunk of damage. So you can see the combination between you place this down, you wait out a couple of seconds to get a few ticks from the Toxic Nova, from the poison, and then you can expunge it, get rid of the poison because it's going to go away in a few seconds anyway. Hopefully you time it well, and it does a huge chunk of damage. You can see how that 20 mana total can actually absolutely wreck bases, especially important targets. Now his dragon spell is, it actually also deals poison over whenever you use it over a location, so he does have quite a bit more health than the other ancients. Once again, I can't show you unfortunately, but he does he's pretty bulky for a dragon. So if you're looking for more of a tank, I would say go with Visacara. Now keep in mind, against sky towers and, you know, stuff like that, that is good, watchtowers, anything that actually is really, really good against dragons, he's still going to take some damage, especially the sky towers. Obviously the watchtowers less so. Spell towers barely does anything, but those two things could still do quite a significant amount of damage to him, even though he does have quite a lot of health. He is the bulkiest of all the dragons, but not bulky. He's not like a tank, but he's the tankiest. So I hope I made that clear. Sorry, that was a little confusing, but yeah, so you could use your dragon power to poison them and then Expunge to remove the poison, do a ton of damage for only 15 mana, so you don't need to spend the 5 mana for the Toxic Nova. So you can see how that can really, really work together. Super, super awesome. I like him a lot. I definitely want to experiment more with him in the future, and I will be doing that. All right, so next up we have Emberclaw. So Emberclaw is yet another unique dragon because he does have a dragon power that I believe also coincides with his spell. So he's the dragon that I've used the least as an ancient and as well as a dragon, but I've used him the least. But from what I could tell, he does have pretty cool skills because his first spell, Ignite, ignites target, dealing a certain amount of damage a second for 12 seconds. If an affected building already exists in the area of effect, then all buildings are ignited instead. So you could do huge chunk of damage to a bunch of buildings for only 10 mana. That is pretty crazy by using that twice. Next up, he summons 2 fire elementals. Next up, he has Dragon's Blood. Damage dealt to allied troops to reduce it 10% and they recover a certain amount of health, or well, it says a certain amount of damage. I believe it means it recovers health a second per 5 seconds. That does scale with level, of course. It doesn't get too big. That's the problem. As far as the heal, if we actually press enhance and press a little question mark, we can scroll down, see his max level skills and stats like that. So where is this? Okay, Dragon's Blood. So recovers 9 to 11 damage a second for almost 6 seconds. So we round to 6 seconds and say it averages 10 damage a second for 6 seconds. So it averages 60 damage per heal, per time you use that. Not very good. It is in a pretty big area of effect, but overall not that effective. His stats pretty good though. He does deal damage and a good target damage. If you want crowd control, you go for Foreveil because he does have the huge freeze, not only in his spells as an ancient, but also as a dragon, his dragon power. And his Visacara, quite interesting, quite unique in the sense that he could deal a ton of damage for only 15 mana because he does have the dragon power if you use him as a dragon along with the power. So kind of like Nocti, who has a huge nuking skill, except you could also get a poison on top of that without even using any mana because we do have the dragon power. So I hope you guys did enjoy. Please leave a like rating if you did enjoy. Subscribe if you're new. With that said, thanks for watching. Peace.